Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is my honor today to rise to add my voice in support of Bill C-51. And as my colleague is leaving the room, I would just like to remind her that we support the Carbonneau inquiry and truthfulness at that inquiry looking into the corruption in Quebec in the construction trades. Bill C-51, the Safer Witnesses Act, the strong federal witness protection program, is critical to helping our law enforcement and justice systems work effectively. Over the years, the federal witness protection program has frequently proven itself to be a useful and important tool for effectively combating crime, particularly organized crime. However, the Witness Protection Program Act has not been substantially changed since it first came into effect in 1996. During that time, there have been enormous changes in the nature of organized crime. It has adapted to become more transnational and pervasive. Organized crime groups are increasing in sophistication and becoming adept at using new cyber technologies to avoid detection and arrest. Mr. Speaker, these groups are known to be exceedingly secretive and difficult to infiltrate, often posing unique challenges for law enforcement officials. Meanwhile, crimes committed by organized crime networks present a serious threat to the safety of our communities and are of great concern to police and to Canadians. Many organized crime networks are involved with the illicit drug trade, a lucrative business that has been growing significantly. Now, Mr. Speaker, for instance, according to Statistics Canada, cocaine trafficking, production and distribution in Canada has grown nearly 30% over the last decade. Bill C-51 is a practical and comprehensive piece of legislation that effectively addresses the need to modernize the Witness Protection Program. It will amend the Witness Protection Program Act to improve the effectiveness and security of the Federal Witness Protection Program and make it more responsive to the needs of law enforcement from across Canada. The bill was designed to do four main things: improve the process to obtain secure identity changes for witnesses from provinces and territories that have designated programs, broaden prohibitions against the disclosure of information, expand the admissions for national security, national defense, and public safety sources, and extend the amount of time emergency protection may be provided. Now, Mr. Speaker, from day one, this government has been quite clear that keeping all Canadians and Canadian communities safe is one of our top priorities. We have taken strong action to address this priority by providing law enforcement officials with the tools they need to do their jobs more effectively. This government has provided law enforcement officials with more resources. We've enacted legislation to stiffen sentences and to increase the accountability of offenders. And, Mr. Speaker, we've taken steps to modernize Canada's National Police Force. We've enhanced the ability of all law enforcement officials to keep Canadians safe. Bill C-51 further builds on our track record and will go a long way to enhancing our collective efforts to combat organized crime. Not one of us here today would argue against the critical role that witness protection plays in our criminal justice system. Now, Mr. Speaker, most of us know that for many cases, law enforcement officials have had to rely on the cooperation of individuals formerly involved with organized crime organizations in order to combat their activities or to successfully prosecute ringleaders. In other cases, law enforcement has relied on the testimony of key eyewitnesses. These were individuals who agreed to help law enforcement or provide testimony in criminal matters with the end goal of removing criminals from our streets and making our communities safer. Now, Mr. Speaker, in many cases, these individuals often had inside knowledge about organized crime syndicates or the illicit drug trade because they themselves were involved with these elements. The information they provided to authorities was often invaluable, but sharing it with law enforcement officials could often also place their lives at risk. Witnesses are all too aware of the risk and they fear not only for their own safety, but for the safety of their family and loved ones. That is why witness protection programs in Canada and around the world offer protection, including new identities for certain individuals whose testimony or cooperation can be so vital to the success of law enforcement operations. Mr. Speaker, I believe most Canadians understand that, and in order to give our police and courts the best chance to apprehend and convict offenders, we need individuals to feel confident and safe in coming forward to help with investigations. Mr. Speaker, in fact, protecting witnesses is vital to our justice system. Witness protection is recognized around the world as one of the most important tools that law enforcement has at its disposal to combat criminal activity. In the case of organized crime in particular, these witnesses are often the key component to achieving convictions. The Safer Witness Act contains several changes to the Witness Protection Program Act that will help better protect informants and witnesses. Together, these proposed changes will serve to strengthen the current Witness Protection Program Act, making the federal program more effective and secure for both the witnesses and those who provide protection. Because this is really the crux of this program, to keep those involved and their information safe and secure. As I said at the outset, Mr. Speaker, a strong federal witness protection program is critical to helping our law enforcement and justice systems work effectively. We must take steps to ensure that individuals who decide to become informants or to testify against criminal organizations do not face intimidation or danger. This is why our government is committed to strengthening our federal program and to ensuring a stronger and more streamlined connection with designated provincial programs. In order to address the threat of organized crime and drugs in our community, it is critical that informants and witnesses collaborate with law enforcement. Therefore, it is vital that we continue to support an effective federal witness protection program to make it more responsive to the needs of law enforcement while ensuring the safety of the program's participants. We believe very strongly that Bill C-55 does just this, and the response we have received from stakeholders and parliamentarians only increases our confidence in this legislation. Strong witness protection programs are invaluable to investigations and court proceedings. Mr. Speaker, I believe we are on the right track with this legislation. The proposed amendments will modernize the Act that is key in our collective fight against serious and organized crime in collaboration with provinces and territories. They will serve to enhance protection provided to key witnesses and those involved in administering witness protection programs across Canada. The changes our government is proposing also respond to many of the needs of provincial and territorial governments. They respond to the needs of law enforcement officials and other stakeholders involved in the criminal justice system, and they respond to the needs of Canadians from coast to coast to coast who wish to see our government continue to build safe communities for everyone. I therefore encourage all honourable members to support Bill C-51 and help us keep our witnesses and all Canadians safe. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.